Welcome in, gods and goddesses. I am your host, Goddess Wise. Now, I haven't been on here for a couple of weeks now, mainly because I am in school and there's been a lot of things that I've been taking on my plate that were completely necessary in order for me to elevate, right? But I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. Now, it doesn't mean I haven't been getting any channeled messages. I've been putting them on TikTok and on my other YouTube platform, and pretty much trying to figure out what God is calling for me to do with my pages. Is it supposed to be a merger of the pages? Am I supposed to forget one page and just work solely on the other? So I've been pretty much trying to find my footing with this. And after meditation today and the information that I got in my free write, I ended up on this platform. So I'm asking for answers, you know. We know God don't always give you answers verbatim. A lot of times he'll give you answers in just how you're feeling about something. And in this case, I felt like being here. So this is the platform where I'm going to be for now. And we will see what happens, because I'm wondering if I'm supposed to transition. Now, my first platform is my original platform. I'm wondering if God is calling for me to completely let go of that platform, because that was my beginning stages. Kind of like when you go to school and you graduate out. Yeah, you graduated. You could go back and visit your teachers, but for the most part, you're not going to go back to that school trying to learn something that you already learned. You're done, right? So I feel like that might be what's happening, is because I am emotionally attached to the page. That's why I'm holding on to it. But God is calling for me to move into a new stage, new phase. New stages, new phases. Now, I thought this channeled message was going to be based on my free write, and yet I opened up talking about stages and phases, moving into new stages and phases of life. Now, obviously, there's no coincidences, only synchronicities. So if it went from God guiding me to sit at this table, to pull up this specific platform, to speak on this specific topic, there must be a reason. So let's see what comes out. Because whatever it is for the highest good of all, right? Let's jump in. What's the overall energy here? What's the overall energy? Right, we got one. Son of Cups, or the Knight of Cups. Another two. They said don't take these, okay. You ready? Let's go. Here we go. That's three. So we have the Knight of Cups, the Five of Swords, and then the Eight of Swords. All right. Son of Cups, the Knight of Cups, that you know that's a love offer. That's the love of whatever you're doing, that passionate love, right? So it's not the king, we're going to talk about the embodiment of the energy. So that's passionate love, right? Five of Swords talks about leaving behind. And then we have the Eight of Swords. This is the trapped energy. So maybe being trapped behind the energy of what is being left behind. Ooh. This is very much touching on how I said I was feeling initially. So this must be a collective energy. Having a hard time letting go of what no longer is needed. I think we all have been here at one time or another where the concept of not having something that brought you comfort at one point or brought you passion, even brought you to where you are. Because I will say, my old platform is what got me started. So there's a bit of nostalgia when it comes to working with my old energies. You know, feeling like this is where it all began. But does that mean that that is the ending? No, it does not. Bottom of the deck, Daughter of Swords. That's the Page of Swords. Now, I can't tell you why my camera shut off for no reason. But what can I say? It wouldn't be a party if the enemy wasn't trying to crash it, would it? Right? So let's get into this, right? All right, so as I stated before, falling in love and becoming passionate about something, but having a hard time letting go of the passion of it simply because you feel trapped in the energy. I think we normally do this to ourselves, where because something feels normalized in our lives, we get so comfortable with having it that the idea of letting it go to allow the new becomes the hardest thing to conquer. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So I'm getting a vision of Jesus with the teddy bear and the little girl. How he requests for us to let go of the old, the tattered, the worn, what we don't need anymore in order to make room for the new. This is a requirement. We can't have everything. If your hands are already full, how are you going to hold what he has for you to come? So understand that some things that we develop are made to be let go. And it isn't just for myself, but it's for all of us. We are to remain cups that pour out and refill. That's the purpose. Imagine having a cup that only had one beverage and never had anything else in it ever again. That's a useless cup. So let's see where we're going with this. Give me the storyline, Holy Spirit. Give me a storyline. Give it one more. Okay. Alright, so I have the Empress. Empress card. She is the queen of getting things done. She makes things grow out of nothing. So the idea, the concept of knowing that you're abundant, you are going to continuously develop nothing. Develop something out of nothing. That is your gift. So being able to equip yourself in that energy. Then we have the Page of Swords. That's the messages consistently. Because I will get into that in a bit, because that one just hit me a little deep too. Then we got the King of Wands. Remember I told you about the passion. All that passion. Alright, so what I was feeling off of this Page of Swords. Remember I told you I have the old platform and I have a hard time letting go of this platform because that's my starter platform. That was my baby. I started that platform back when I didn't know how to be a YouTuber. It was what God pushed me into, and I was just so uncertain, so unsure. And then when it did start to grow, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. But I kept at it. I worked hard on this platform. And all of the spiritual messages that I put into this platform mattered to me. They were my babies. Those messages were important. And it had, I realized I put a lot of passion into building that platform to really be able to say I'm doing it. Like, I want this. I want what you want from me, God. But I have to remember that it wasn't the platform that was important. It was understanding that I was becoming this empress, that we are becoming empresses in our own right. Knight of Wands, more passion, fast and passionate. So I feel like this is really where we're going when it comes down to figuring out where we belong. Now I'm going to illuminate these cards a bit. Let's see where we are. Illuminate the Empress for me, please. We have dances on one foot, a balancing act, yes. So on top of the Empress, we have being able to balance, where you are understanding that there will be it reminds me of harvest season. If you look at the background, she has that lush garden. In order to understand how to bring forth a fruitful garden, you have to understand that there are seasons. Everything has its seasons. There will be seasons where things are dry. There will be seasons where things are flourishing. But understanding how to balance out within those seasons is what's going to get you into your new positions. That's what takes you into Empress status. Not worrying about what failed, what succeeded, what you have to leave behind. It's recognizing that you're always moving forward. You could have a season where your tomatoes didn't grow well, but you had a great season for carrots. And the next season is the opposite. That's just how it's going to go. And we have to be okay with understanding that there are seasons for everything. Illuminate this Page of Swords. Thank you. We have Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life. And remember I was saying, leaving behind something that you felt was important to you. I personally know that I put out a lot of messages on that platform. I think there's like 300 some odd videos on that platform. Now, am I losing out on those messages? No. I had to make my peace today with understanding that those messages were for the people they reached. That's how this goes. That not every message is for everybody. Some messages are for 2 people. Some messages are for a multitude. Some messages are for someone to find 17 years from now. My job is to get the message out on behalf of God. And as long as that message is out and someone finds that message when they need it, I've done my job. So holding onto the platform is not necessary. Ooh, God, he's taking me through it. Illuminate the King of Wands, please. All right, we have the Covenant, sacred contract. There we go. And that is the contract, right on top of the Passionate King. Right on top of him. And then on the bottom is that Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine. This is technically the Empress card again. So it is a birthing card, meaning giving birth to the new. Because that's really what it is. We are always in a position of growth. That's what we should always be hunting for. How can we grow, but not hold on to everything with such a tight grip? Like, I personally enjoy when I go through these moments of self-evaluation and self-growth. Because got the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, that's God right there. When I go through these moments of self-development and growth, because as I do, it teaches the proper way to self-reflect. Instead of talking about what I don't want, I always talk about what I do. When I realize that I'm holding on to something too tight, I look for the reasons why I need to let it go. And it makes it easier for us to grow, not just myself, for us. Because this process of me purging my own energy is to show you how to purge yours. So where it may be me leaving behind a platform, it can be you leaving behind a job, that you're holding on to because you've been there for so long and you don't want to let it go because they need you, or because you're employee of the month all the time because you're so good at it. I've been there as well. This happens all the way around. You can be holding on to a relationship all because you feel like this was the pinnacle of your life. Little do you know, once you let go of these things, you let go of that job, the better job's coming. You let go of that relationship, the person you're supposed to be with is coming. But we're so busy holding on to what we know that we miss out on what's trying to come in. And we're not doing that. 2026 is not the year to be holding on to anything and missing out on blessings. We're not doing that. Let's clarify this Empress card. Balancing act, dances on one foot. One more, please. There we go. All right, so we have the King of Cups. And then we have the Five of Cups. I'm not sure if y'all heard that. My stomach is growling. I'm hungry. I wanted to get this reading out before I actually ate. So, King of Cups, Five of Cups. Remember I talked about leaving something behind that you felt was valuable and to move forward. On the Five of Cups, he is looking at those 3 spilled cups as if he lost everything. He has 2 cups still left. Yeah, you lost out on 3, but those 3 you didn't need, obviously. So he needs to turn his attention back to the 2. Because the 2 you have are the ones that you need. It's not necessarily a loss. It's always a gain. And then the King of Cups talks about love. It talks about devotion and being committed to. It's emotionally intelligent. It's understanding that you can be attached to something or have an important emotionality to you and still be able to release it. Like, that is actually true love. Unconditional love sometimes is loving something so much that you want what's best for it, even if that means you're not. And that's it. All right, let's clarify this Page of Swords. Perfect storm, courage to step into life. Can I get 2 to clarify the page? Okay, we got a couple things coming out. So we got the 4 of Pentacles. Then we have, oh, okay. So these 2 cards, you would think seriously contradict each other. So you got the budgeting card, which is pretty much lack, and then you got the gift card, all in the same position today. So I'm gonna give you what I'm getting off of this. Understanding that when you're holding on to something, that is a lack mindset. That is survival mode at its finest. Oh, thank you, Jesus. When you can't let something go, you are in survival mode, naturally. You're holding on because you don't think that there's something better that can come in. You don't want to lose in order to win. But that is exactly what God requires. God will hide the best blessings in a release. I'm telling you this from experience. He will hide the best blessings in a release. As soon as you let something go that you didn't need anymore, whole life transformed. I've had it happen to me several times, which is why I can sit with this type of energy and recognize that letting go is the best thing. Evaluate that even though I don't want to let it go mentally, the reasons why it needs to be. That is the reason why it needs to be. If I'm holding on to something with tooth and nail, that means I am in a mental state of either lack or survival, and I need neither because I am abundant. Hence, the Empress twice. And then you got the gift card, charity giving. This is blessings. So that's the blessing coming in after letting go of this survival. So that's it. So one thing I will tell you about my old platform is that I was never able to build a community. And that for me was very hard because I wanted that so desperately for that platform. And I never was able to build that. All right, so I'm going to clarify this King of Wands covenant, sacred contract. Now, he's the passionate king. We're going to clarify him though. What else we got for the king? Let's clarify this King of Wands. Thank you. We have the Seven of Pentacles and then the Three of Wands. Now, Three of Wands talks about making a choice. So, on this card, he literally has 3 staves and he's choosing the one. That's the one he needs. He don't need the rest of them. Just the one. So, making a choice out of your options of the one that you need, which is technically what I'm saying. Sometimes what you need is what is less. This platform is starting from the bottom. So we are officially on take 3. For me to continue this reading, it's okay though, because it has to be done. It has to be done. I'm not going to stop on this reading because when the enemy wants to stop this bad, that means this message is important. So we'll get it out. And it's okay. I might have to do some editing, which I don't like to do. But is it worth it to make sure that whoever needed this message right here gets it? Yes, it's worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it, baby. So we're going to do it. All right. So I'm not sure where we left off. I will cut, chop, and screw this message to get it out properly. But I did say that with the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is them choosing the stuff that he needed out of the 3. Right? He chose it. He's ready to go on his path, right? And then we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is things coming into fruition. These are seeds you plant that are going to net you the harvest. And just like we were stating before, if you hold on to something too deeply and you don't allow for things to come into fruition, to grow into what they need to grow into, you never really know where it can go. And sometimes you have to plant new seeds in new places in order to see what comes out of it. There will be times, like I said, for the carrots. There will be times for the tomatoes. But you'll never know if you keep doing the same thing, hoping for a different result. The only way to really guarantee a different result is to do something different. All right, so I'm going to get a couple of these guidance cards. Let's see where we are guided. Give us some guidance, please. Can we have some guidance on where we're going with this? We have loss. Isn't that crazy? Didn't I say being concerned with the loss is the problem? We got loss up here a couple of times. We got the budget card. We got the Five of Cups. And now we got this card. It says sometimes we must lose things and people to appreciate them and their value. Then other times we must lose to gain. Like, come through, Holy Spirit. And this is very much the case. And I think it is the case here more than anything. When you hold on to things too tightly, you have no idea what could be waiting on the other side of the release. And a lot of times, it is everything that you were hoping for. The reason why you're holding on to this thing is probably the thing that's waiting for you on the other side of letting go of it. Mark my words. Advice, please, you guys. We got delay. A delay is never denial. Sometimes it's just not the right time. So I also spoke about how that platform bloomed, where the messages were getting out. People were definitely getting the messages. It was getting across to them. That was what I wanted for this platform. But I wasn't building a community there. God could have easily delayed that because maybe it wouldn't have been time for me to be able to handle a community plus putting out the messages. I was very much new, not only to YouTube but to social media in general. I wasn't a fan. Your girl was very happy living off grid. I'd rather live life than record it. So I do feel that in some case, That delay in the bloom was important for my growth. I got this one, epiphany. That was an epiphany. That was me understanding that there's so much that is just here for us. And that even though we may personally feel like this is what we want, confidence. I told you, with that old platform, I built my confidence in this because I was uncertain about how I wanted to go, how things would go, and if I could do this. And God helped me build my confidence with that old platform. And lastly, survivor. Remember I said I'm no longer in survival mode. We don't have to survive. We're here to thrive. We've gotten past survival. So now it's time to understand that in new stages and new phases, we bloom because we are abundant in our energy. So releasing is not hard for us anymore. And it shouldn't be hard for you either. All right, get a couple of cards from our higher power. Bottom of the deck, lighten up. Lighten up a bit, girl. You don't have to be stressed and holding on and uncomfortable. Just let it be, let it flow. I've learned to trust God in all his stages and phases, especially when it comes to the release. He's never done me wrong. He's never led me astray. So with that being said, I could definitely trust him on this. All right? So let's go. Here we have, Father. Any messages, Father, that you need us to know? We have, oh my gosh, release. Let it go. Let it go. Don't you love when God just comes through? The first card, release. Let it go. It's okay. And it is. I'm happy that now I'm to the point where I can smile. We have align. So this is also aligning with what needs to come into fruition. I think I was supposed to be moved away from the old platform. It had its time. And now that I'm in alignment, I can reassess with where things are going to go, where they should be going, and with what I want for myself. Like I said, when I first started that platform, I was not thinking about a community. I was not thinking about who I could speak to. I was just thinking about, let me just get these messages out. And so a community was never one that came in. We have bravery and keep going. It came out together. So be brave and don't stop. Keep going. Keep moving forward. And that is how it's supposed to go. Comfort at the bottom of the deck. Growth is not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to do exactly what it does, which is take you out of your comfort zone for the sake of your movement forward. And I can totally accept that. And I know you can too. Because we're not here to be stuck in the same places for the sake of our comfort. And holding on to things don't feel good anyway. Think about it. If you ever held on to a relationship that ended up ending anyway, once it was gone, you felt better. Once you healed from it, you felt better. If you've ever held on to a job that you didn't want to even be working at, for the sake of saying that you had one, you felt better. And this happens every single time we go through these processes of purging. The point of the purge is for you to shed the old so that you can become your new. So, always walk into these things with gratitude and assess where you can grow so that you can be the best you can be. All right, gods and goddesses. Feel free to leave me a comment because, yes, I am looking to build a community of those who are ready to grow within their divinity, ready to grow within their mindset, to see things from a higher perspective, so that we can all be better, not only for ourselves, but for the world around us. Because all growth, all healing starts with you. All right, y'all. I love you all. Love and light and peace.